This is off of the Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond. Posted on January 15th, 2014. The sea froze so fast that it killed thousands of fish instantly. This was in Norway. And thousands of fish in a bay in the island of Luvond, Norway, an air temperature of minus 7.8 Celsius, which is 17.96 Fahrenheit in the negative. Wow. The dog owner says he has never seen such a phenomenon. NRK claims that the herrings were chased by cormorants into the bay when the deadly freezing happened. Heads up! Reminds me of something out of The Day After Tomorrow. Maybe that dog shouldn't be out there either. Alrighty then, I just had to show you this picture. I'll add it to my Extinction Protocol 2012. Also posted on the Extinction Protocol 2012 and beyond today, January, well, it's actually tomorrow for them, January 15th, 2014. H5N1 anatomy of a killer. Canadian patient was brain dead by the time she was diagnosed. Okay, so heads up. Everyone be safe. Hygiene, hygiene, hygiene.
It is the 14th of the 1st, 2014. This is your radioactive reality. Let's get started on ENA News. Fukushima confirms nightmarish potential of nuclear power. Public living with threat of worst-case scenarios on a daily basis. Quote, super catastrophe looms at the plant. Just another day of Fukushima. Just another day. Sickened Fukushima worker, quote, TEPCO is God. We are slaves. Employees beaten, threatened with death for speaking out. You gotta remember the government's running these homeless shelters, sending the Yakuza, good, nice, nuclear workers to work the cleanup mess at Fukushima, only to be overcharged for their dormitories and food, forced to eat radiated local food. The insanity continues. This is what we face every day. California schools announce Fukushima testing. Imperative we monitor for any Fukushima contamination, quote, that will be arriving this year. Already here, kids. It's already here. In the ocean, LA Times claims levels are declining, fails to inform readers of radioactive plume crossing the Pacific. Don't worry, folks, it's no worse than eating a banana. Or so they say. TV, Fukushima is the most important issue going on in the world. Everyone should stop what they are doing and work together. Amen. Newspaper editor, government afraid to look into Fukushima as it could lead to destruction of fishing industry on the West Coast. We all know what it boils down to, don't we? We all know what it boils down to. The cleanup, the conspiracies, the bullshit. Real. It's not just the Reagan crew, they had several support ships right alongside them the whole way. These brave men and women were exposed to high levels of radiation. It's a shame they were chewed up and spit out. Just getting started. And if you live on the west coast of the United States or Canada, Mexico, all the way down into South America, Australia, and Asia, be advised, it only accumulates. One banana at a time, baby. One banana at a time. And at a time. Arnie Gunderson, U.S. government buying 14 million potassium iodine pills used during nuclear disasters. Quote, I don't know why they placed this big of an order right now. It just happened. The iodine only works in the first few days, okay? So are they planning on something else to happen here relatively soon? Do they spend that much money on pills they're just going to throw away in a year or two? I don't know. Official TEPCO has failed at Fukushima. No progress made. TEPCO to change name. Check it out. They're going to change their name. Start a new business. TEPCO demands nuclear workers return payments. Anger past the tipping point. Now, TEPCO is going to change their name so they can sell their energy around the country without prejudice or fear of the Fukushima nuclear disaster. The Japanese government owns TEPCO. You, the Japanese people, own TEPCO. The insanity continues. California official. Information on risk from Fukushima needs to be made public. State in contact with NRC. CBS Health scare over possible Fukushima radiation in Pacific caught fish. Surfer. I'd never go surfing right now. If you're smart, you'll never go surfing again. Not in the Pacific Ocean, anyway. It takes 3 years to get around the world. Okay? These 28,000 duckies, rubber duckies, prove that scientifically. You can Google that. What did 28,000 rubber duckies teach us? And it'll tell you that this thing gets around the Earth in 3 years. Right around the 3-year mark.
Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today is January 14th, 2013. Here are your news updates for today. The Watchers watching the world. Alrighty then, it's not up there. Here we go. Cinnabung roars, largest pyroclastic flow, thick ash layer, major hazard from Lahars. And I believe yesterday, Sunspot 1944 unleashed M1.3 solar flare. Alrighty then. I'm going to talk a short time today. I put a lot of news up from all over the place. You stay tuned. It is 2 days down, 3 to go before the weekend. Stay tuned, and I'll see you again tomorrow. On the flip side, please be safe. Be ready for anything. And if there's an asteroid coming in, NASA says, and everyone, you have to duck and cover, just like with the old nuclear drills that they used to do in the schools. You see something coming in, duck and cover. Move away from the projectile coming in. Get away from there and duck and cover. All right. Take care. I'll see you again tomorrow on the flip side. Just stay safe and be warm, because Florida's temperature is dropping. All right? Take care. Put your pets inside.
Reports have surfaced from top researchers that a plume of Fukushima radiation will contact the United States sometime in 2014. With that in mind, we've been on a West Coast tour. We've gone as far north as Portland, Oregon. Now we're back down in sunny California, because right beneath this location, just a little bit south of San Francisco at Half Moon Bay, we encountered our highest radiation levels, over 10 times what's considered normal for that location. So we came up here to San Francisco, not too far away, to see if these people are even aware of these issues. Hi, excuse me, how are you guys doing today? Are you guys aware of the bioaccumulation, the excessive level of radiation just a little bit south of here in Half Moon Bay?
No.
Are you a local resident?
I am. Yeah.
And you haven't heard about these radiation levels?
No, I haven't.
No, but I know about Half Moon Bay. That's the place that's always the wettest place in the U.S.
Oh, is that a fact?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Are you a local resident?
Yeah.
And this is your first time hearing this information?
Yes.
Are you a local resident here?
Yes.
And you haven't heard about this information?
What is this for?
Well, this is for INFOWARS.com. We're trying to tell the people out there about the excessive levels of radiation that are going on just a little bit south of here.
No, I haven't heard anything about it.
The highest levels of radiation have been centered right around here at Half Moon Bay, just a little bit south of here.
Oh, that's horrible.
Sorry, I don't want to be on camera or quoted. Thank you.
I don't like to be filmed without my permission.
Okay, sir, I'll tell you that the NSA films you every day through your laptop, and also these traffic cameras film you too. So they're filming you without your permission too. Just be aware of that, sir. Have you heard about the melting starfish?
No, that I have not.
No, actually.
You have not?
Mm-mm.
Well, sir, let me just ask you this. What type of information are you really into? What gets you up in the morning? What's the first thing you look for in the morning?
I do, you know, have an interest in global warming, those kinds of large-scale environmental issues, but I can't say as I've heard of the localized radiation thing.
The government has purchased about 14 million doses of potassium iodide. Now, you can use that to protect your body from radiation. Would it concern you to know that they're buying all this radiation protection and not informing the general public?
Sure. Seem like they obviously know something we don't then.
Would it be too much to speculate that maybe the government knows something that they're not sharing with the general public?
I think that's too... I could not make that link.
I don't want it to be a Republican's conspiracy to take over the United States again.
A Republican conspiracy? Is it a conspiracy that Steve Weiss, an electrical engineer who makes Geiger counters, went out there and found radiation levels 1,400% normal, higher than normal? Is that a conspiracy, sir?
I don't know if it's a conspiracy. It's just an observation.
After meeting all the awake, vibrant, lovely people just a little bit southwest of here in Half Moon Bay, I'm somewhat discouraged that about half the people we talked to today just had no interest in these issues. I guess they're more concerned with the 49ers or about their trendiness, their new iPhone, or whatever else. But these are real issues, and you need to take action. Sometimes just walking out here and talking to people can wake people up. Some people were very receptive of this information, and for the other people who may have been on vacation and just didn't care, we met people in Half Moon Bay who were on vacation, and they cared just as much as the people who live right there in Half Moon Bay. So stay tuned to InfoWars.com and .tv as we bring you more reports on our West Coast tour.
DARPA director and now Google executive Regina Duggan is pushing an edible authentication microchip along with an electronic tattoo that can read your mind. No, this isn't the script of a film about a dystopian scientific dictatorship. It's trendy and cool. Duggan, who is head of advanced technology at Google-owned Motorola, told an audience at the All Things D11 conference that the company was working on a microchip inside a pill that users would swallow daily in order to obtain the superpower of having their entire bodies act as a biological authentication system for cell phones, cars, doors, and other devices.
So, this,
you guys see it?
This pill has a small chip inside of it with a switch. It also has what amounts to an inside-out potato battery. When you swallow it, the acids in your stomach serve as the electrolyte, and they power it up, and the switch goes on and off. And it creates an 18-bit ECG-like signal in your body, and essentially your entire body becomes your authentication token.
Duggan added that the chip had already been FDA approved and could be taken 30 times a day for someone's entire life without affecting their health, a seemingly dubious claim. Would you swallow a Google microchip every day simply to access your cell phone? Privacy advocates will wince at the thoughts, especially given Duggan's former role as head of DARPA, the Pentagon agency that many see as being at the top of the pyramid when it comes to the big brother technocracy. Indeed, when host Walt Mossberg asked Duggan about the surveillance implications, she merely laughed and told him to swallow the pill.
We can just tell that you've taken the pill. I mean, the medical application.
Does Google now know everything I do and everywhere I go? Because, let's face it, we like you guys, but you're from Google.
Just give him some water and let him take that pill.
In addition to the edible microchip, Motorola is also working on a wearable e-tattoo that could also read a user's mind by detecting the unvocalized words in their throat. It has been known for decades that when you speak to yourself in your inner voice, your brain still sends neural spike volleys to your vocal apparatus, in a similar fashion to when you actually speak aloud, explains Extreme Tech's John Hewitt, noting that the device could also allow covert voice activation as well as being used to detect stress and emotion, because Big Brother really cares about your feelings. During the D11 conference, Duggan even predicted that if the E-tattoo was made to look cool with different artistic designs, young people will want to have it fused to their skin as an act of rebellion against their parents.
It may be true that 10 to 20-year-olds don't want to wear a watch on their wrist, but you can be sure that they'll be far more interested in wearing an electronic tattoo, if only to piss off their parents.
The edible microchip and the wearable e-tattoo are prime examples of how transhumanism is being made trendy in an effort to convince the next generation to completely sacrifice whatever privacy they have left in the name of faux rebellion, which is actually cultural conformism and convenience. Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/PrisonPlanet. This is Paul Joseph Watson reporting for INFOWARS.
Teresa of Colorado for the other. First, the report that Nick got to us. There's been a ferry that has capsized, a horrible ferry accident just off the coast of South Sudan. Now we know in South Sudan there's a war going on there as radical Islamists are trying to overthrow the government of South Sudan. So there's a ferry packed with 300 citizens of South Sudan trying to get out of this area, and the boat has flipped over and has the accident. And the Army is saying that, according to Philip Auger, that the accident has taken place in the White Nile River today, this February the 14th, 2014. The reports are we are somewhere between 200 and 300 people, including women and children, have drowned as the boat was overloaded and has capsized. They've all drowned. They were fleeing the fighting that broke out. This is horrible. So approximately 300 people. One report says between 200 and 300. Somewhere in that neighborhood, 200 to 300 people have drowned as a ferry has capsized in the White Nile River as people are fleeing the war-torn areas of South Sudan. Now, while that's going on, I also want to thank Teresa of Colorado. There has been a train derailment northwest of Helena, Montana. Gusty winds of almost 120 miles an hour. I think it was clocked at 119 miles an hour. Has derailed a train there in Big Sky Country up near the Continental Divide. From what I'm understanding, this situation, and I've got a picture here. Let me just show you this picture, and I want to thank Teresa for getting this information to me, but there you see it. Look at all those freight cars. I mean, just completely derailed this train. Are you serious? Just completely derailed the train. And it's just, here's the good news. Here's the first time I've seen a train derailment in about a year that didn't involve chemical spill, diesel, crude oil, explosions, or didn't involve a passenger train, killing scores and dozens and sometimes hundreds of people. So this is good news. This is good news that this massive train derailment did not involve any. Some information about meteor strikes and imminent. Americans are being warned, according to WorldNet Daily and other scientific magazines. Americans are being warned of imminent, deadly meteor strikes. I repeat, this is the headline. Americans are being warned of imminent, deadly meteor strikes. I want to thank Troy of North Carolina for getting this report to me. With NASA reporting, according to science.time.com, and NASA finds new asteroid headed in our direction, quote, potentially hazardous asteroid, nearly half a mile wide. Wow, that's huge! Is headed toward the Earth. And some upstate New Yorkers are claiming on Syracuse.com that the meteor sightings in upstate New York, some are convinced they are headed in this direction. They've experienced a loud boom and a bright light in the sky last night caused by a meteor. Now this happened, of course, last night, and last night, of course, was day 2 of the 7 days of passage. Also, day 2 of the 7 days of mourning for Ariel Sharon. When I say 7 days of passage, it's the 7 days that the Earth has to pass through the comet ice and debris trails. We've been talking about it now since late October, that this day was coming, that this week was coming. I was more concerned about the 7 days of passage than I ever was about the comet Ison itself. I would hope that comet Ison would remain intact, come around the sun on the perihelion, and be a spectacular show during December. But it broke apart into huge, I counted, when it first happened, around 21 huge rocks. I'm not sure, but definitely like a shotgun full of huge rocks. And it lost its electromagnetic charge, thus it wasn't bright no more, but it's still, those were flying through space. They went over top the Earth right around December 25th, 26th, and they were about 41 million miles above us. But the trail that was with this comet as it headed toward the sun, and then it whipped around, and then the trail as it pulled away, the Earth is passing through it. And right now is being double whammied, and that's why there is 126 confirmed events, according to www.amsmeters.org, that actually tracks all of the events. There's 126 events since January 9th, okay, that have been spotted and confirmed, and that's just in America. That's just in America. That's not counting those huge fireballs over Australia and parts of Europe and around the world. I mean, they've been seen in Texas, New York, Missouri, Kansas, Colorado, West Virginia, Arizona, West Virginia, Texas, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, Connecticut, Colorado, Alabama, Pennsylvania. Do you want me to go on? Kentucky, Florida. I mean, 126 meteors since January the 9th.
And
now,
why?
Here's what the article is saying on WorldNet Daily. Just when American population first prepared for the possibility of a nuclear blast, a person's best option for surviving a meteor strike is the same duck and cover, created during the 1940s and 50s when nuclear weapons were still in their infancy. The warning comes from the Physicians for Civil Defense, and you can find them at www.physicians